Meanwhile, Baylor men, Scott Drew's team went on the road to Lubbock and got a good win to even its record at 3-3 in the Big 12. Two of those three wins on the road at West Virginia and Tech. So what do you feel like the key to the turnaround for the Bears has been?
Yeah, well, they're definitely playing better defense. I mean, Tech had a pretty good shooting night, but before that, Baylor had held Oklahoma State to 38%. Yeah, I would also say rebounding's been a big key. They lead the Big 12, and I think they have like a +5 rebounding margin for the year. So they lead the Big 12, which is a little surprising because they're not a really big team, but their guards rebound really well. Keontae George is a very good rebounder. Adam Flagler is a good rebounder. So those guys really help in that area. And I would say the other factor would be I think Keontae is taking better shots now. He's not forcing as many. When he's on, Baylor's been doing a good job. His teammates have been doing a good job getting the ball to him. Let's see. This last game, he went 8 for 15 against Tech, 10 for 18 against West Virginia, and against Oklahoma State, I think he only took 8 shots, but he wasn't on. He realized he wasn't on, so he's really getting the ball to his teammates. So I think that's a big key for him to play more within the offense. And so, yeah, I think they've got it going. They're starting to figure some things out, what they can do well, what they need to do better. So, they got Oklahoma on the road on Saturday. So I think they have a pretty good shot to win that game too.
Yeah. I think you hit on it. One of the problems for Baylor when they've lost some games, a lot has been on the defensive end and been maybe just some toughness.
Yeah.
We've talked about the missing piece of Everyday John. I think they would love to have him in the lineup, but it is what it is in terms of that. You have to go forward with the roster that you have. I started to ask a question to you. To me, it always feels like when Adam Flagler has a good game, Baylor seems to do well.
Yeah.
And so I was about to ask you, without you having done any research on it, what kind of, his stats look like in wins versus losses. And while you were answering that last question, I just sort of looked it up. And honestly, he's been pretty consistent all year, wins or losses, in terms of his scoring and assists and stuff. And he only had 9 points and 5 assists in that game at Tech. I just remember watching a little bit of it, and I felt like at least that 3 that he hit, it felt like it was a big shot at the time. I don't remember, but so maybe my theory is not as founded as I think it is, but it just seems like, Keontae is probably going to get his. Mm-hmm. And if you can get that secondary score, whether it's Flagler or somebody else, that's big for Baylor.
Yeah. Adam, he's been on most games. He wasn't really on against Tech, but he did have 5 assists, like you mentioned. So he was running the offense pretty well too. When both Keontae and Adam are both hot, they're pretty hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's been a lot of games where they haven't both been hot, but they don't necessarily need them both really hot to at least be in the game.
Yeah.
But they've got to be doing other stuff too. They've got to be, dishing the ball, rebounding, which both of those guys do really well. So, I think they've kind of got it going right now.